Okay, so let's start the webinar now. All right. First of all, thank you again for joining us today. And today I will be sharing with you all on keyword cannibalization, what it means, and how do you actually eliminate keyword cannibalization to give your SEO a boost. All right. So let's just get started. By the way, my name is April. I'm the senior SEO strategist at Groove Pro Digital Agency. All right. So let's start. So this is what you're going to be learning today. So basically today I will be sharing with you what is keyword cannibalization, what is not keyword cannibalization, what is the negative impacts of it, how do you identify it on your website. I'm going to show you a case study. Finally, I will be sharing with you how can you fix the keyword cannibalization, and most importantly, what you should be avoiding when you are trying to fix this issue. All right, so let's start with the first section. What is keyword cannibalization? So keyword cannibalization here basically means you have multiple content targeting the same or similar keywords with the same user intent on your website. So the user intent here basically means every time when a certain someone is using a keyword to search on Google, they are looking for something. So that is what we call the user intent. Okay, so if you have the same kind of content targeting the same keywords with the same user intent on your website, that is what we consider as keyword cannibalization. Of course, keyword cannibalization here, as the name implies, basically means you have keywords or pages that are basically cannibalizing each other, right? So they are trying to fight and rank for the same keyword, which means these contents are practically competing against each other to target the same keyword, the same kind of audience, and as I mentioned, also the same kind of intent. So all these different contents, they are competing with each other. They may dilute the overall keyword relevance of these pages. Just because when you have multiple pages on the same kind of topic, right, and same kind of keyword, it most likely means that you have either duplicate content on all these different pages, or maybe you are splitting the content into multiple different pages. Some of these pages may have a few important information, then the other pages will have another few important pages. So that's how you practically dilute the overall relevance of these pages, rather than when you have all this information on a single page. That's going to help you a lot better in terms of sending the relevance to Google. Right, so that is practically what keyword cannibalization is all about. So this is one example of keyword cannibalization. So imagine you are a car dealer and you have this car dealer website. So you may be trying to target this keyword called best car dealer on your homepage. Maybe on your homepage, you have this main title that talks about you being the best car dealer. You may have another service pages talking about your car dealership, and you are targeting the same kind of keyword as well, which is best car dealer. And potentially in your About Us page, you may also be using this keyword on your About Us page, saying that you are the best car dealer in Malaysia and so on. So looking at this, right, you have potentially multiple pages trying to rank for the same keyword just because you are optimizing all these pages for the exact same keyword. And people that are searching for car dealer, they are the same audience. So whether they are these people, they are practically looking for a car dealer. So they may come to your homepage, they may come to your service page, they may come to your About Us page, because these three pages may be targeting the same kind of keyword. So now the problem is, which page should be ranked on the search result? All right. So you as the site owner, right, you may be thinking, okay, which page should you, or do you really want to rank on the search result out of these three pages? Maybe it's your homepage, maybe it's a service page, and that may be confusing for you as well. So you may not even know which page that's going to rank. You may not even know which page you really want to rank. You just think that maybe having all these keywords on multiple pages is going to help you to rank better for this keyword, but the truth is it's not. All right. So if you yourself do not know which page should be ranking for this keyword, how will Google know? So with this in mind, right, Google will get a little bit confused and not too sure which page they should rank on the search result when people are searching for the keyword best car dealer. So that way, if Google do not see a strong enough relevance for any of your pages for this keyword, Google may just go for your competitors, which can send a much stronger relevance. So Google may just rank your competitors higher than you. So that is what keyword cannibalization is all about. And this is one very, very simple example to show. So what is not considered keyword cannibalization? So this one is very important because I do know that a lot of people, they may know a little bit about keyword cannibalization, but sometimes they may get the wrong idea and thinking that certain things are cannibalizing each other, but they may actually not be cannibalizing each other. So let's look at what is not considered as keyword cannibalization. So if the same keyword can have multiple user intent or different user intent, we do not consider them as keyword cannibalization. Okay, so a keyword can actually have multiple intents. One example here would be, say, the keyword best dog food. So this particular keyword can be used to search for a list of best dog food. So this can potentially be a blog article or an informational content on your website. Or people may just be searching for the best dog food brand, which can be your homepage, your product page, and all that. So these two potential different contents, right? The reason why we say this having different user intent is because people that are looking for the list of best dog food, they are looking for information, right? But people that are looking for best dog food brand itself, maybe they are looking to buy right now. So these are the two different audience because they are currently in the different funnel. And with that in mind, right, these two will be considered as a content that are targeting the same keyword, but different user intent. Okay. And we will not see this as keyword cannibalization. But some people, maybe they will think that, okay, since these two pages are targeting the same keyword, which is best dog food, this is a keyword cannibalization scenario, which may not be true. Okay, so usually different intent pages will not cannibalize each other. And the simplest way to identify whether the two pages are cannibalizing each other or not is by looking at whether these two pages, are they both blog article or are they both product pages? All right, if let's say you are targeting this keyword on two different product pages, then we may be looking at a keyword cannibalization here. Or if you are targeting two different blog content on the same keyword, then yes, this is potentially a keyword cannibalization. But however, if they are not targeting the same kind of content, then usually if one is blog, one is product pages, usually this is not a case of a keyword cannibalization. Okay, so sometimes when you're doing a Google search, you may realize that this kind of result. So you may notice that this result and this result, they are actually from the same website, but one is a little bit indented to the right. Okay, so this is a classic example of two different pages on the same website ranking for the same keyword, but with different intent. So Google will see this as different intent, and instead of cannibalizing each other, they may even display your pages in this way, just to and this will actually give you additional exposure to both the content. So if you can target the same keyword with totally different intent using different content, this may actually boost your SEO as well. So next, let's also have a look at the negative impacts of keyword cannibalization on your SEO performance. So first thing first, if you have keyword cannibalization happening on your website, you are practically creating an internal competition among all these different content. All right. So if you have multiple pages for the same keyword and intent, especially the keyword here is intent, if they have the same intent as well, this creates internal competition. So search engines like Google, they may not know how to rank your pages, all right? Because if both of them are trying to rank for the same keyword, so which one should be ranking for that keyword? So Google may need to determine which one should Google rank for, and that may actually lower the rank of all the competing pages. All right. So for example, if you have 3 different pages trying to rank for the same keyword, and all 3 of these are being seen as not super relevant to the keyword, just because these are basically competing with each other, then that may potentially put a cap on your ranking potential. So instead of you able to rank one very strong page on the position number 1, you are currently ranking 3 different pages on maybe position number 9, number 10, maybe even on page 3 and 4. right? So that's the kind of that's what internal competition can do to your ranking. Next, you may also be seen as creating poor quality or thin content, just because since you have multiple pages ranking for the same keyword, so there is a chance of you either repeating the same content over across all these different pages, or maybe the content are just too similar to each other. So that way, your site may be seen as a lower quality site just because of this duplicate or thin content, right? And this, if your site is being seen as lower quality, it will definitely impact your ranking and your performance, all right? So thin content here does not necessarily mean your content has low word count. So sometimes people mistake and thinks that when people talk about thin content, it means your page content is very low in terms of word count. Maybe you only have like 1-200 kind of words on it. It's not true, all right? When we talk about thin content, it basically means content that have little to no value at all right? And that's especially true even when you have 3,000 words kind of content, but if they are duplicated content across all the different pages, all of this will be seen as thin content just because they are not adding value, all right? They are basically just sharing the exact same content over and over again. All right. Then next, you may also encounter this issue whereby Google is ranking the less important page higher compared to the page that is a little bit more important. Like I mentioned earlier, right, say you have multiple pages ranking for the same keyword. One is your home page, one is your service page, one is your About Us page. What if Google rank your About Us page high instead of your home page or your service page? All right. So that way, when search engine pick the wrong page to rank, that may actually devalue your more important pages. So your more important pages may not be ranking as well, and that's going to hurt your conversion, which I'm going to talk about later on. All right. So using the same example earlier, right? Best car dealer. So what if Google ranks the About Us page, as I mentioned earlier, right, instead of your actual car dealer service page? Because your actual car dealer service page is the more important page. That's the page that's going to help you convert and all that. But instead of ranking that page, Google rank your About Us page, just because Google do not know how to determine which page Google should rank. Okay, so even though your About Us page is getting the traffic to the website just because it's ranking better, it may not serve you well, right? Just because the About Us page is not going to be helping you much in terms of conversion and all that. So that's why making sure you let Google know which page you really want to rank for that page, for that keyword, and making sure that this page is the one that Google picked to rank. So that is a very, very important step to ensure that you get the right traffic to the right page on your website. So as I mentioned also, it will potentially lower your conversion rate just because when you're ranking for the wrong page, this may cause the traffic to come in, they may not even convert because they may think that the page is not relevant to what they are searching for. All right, so even though the traffic comes in, they may just leave, they may just bounce out of the website. And potentially also because your About Us page is not meant to convert. So your conversion optimization on your About Us page is probably not doing so well compared to your money-making pages, which is going to be your service page. So that page, maybe you have been spending a lot of time optimizing its conversion and all that, just making sure that it's converting well. However, because Google is not ranking that page, that will lower your potential conversion rate. All right, so when you eliminate cannibalization, making sure that the right page is ranking for the right keyword, bringing in the right traffic to that page, then you will be able to increase your conversion opportunities. Next, you may also be wasting your crawl budget. So crawl budget here basically means Google usually will allocate a certain crawl budget. Crawl budget here basically means every time Google come into your website and when they crawl one page of your website, so that will take away one crawl budget, all right? And when you have a very large site, especially, right, your crawl budget may not even be enough to crawl all the different pages on your website. So when you have this duplicated content that is practically ranking for the same keyword, Google may be wasting the crawl budget crawling all these pages that are not so important just because they are having the same keyword and having the same content. And all your other more important pages may not be crawled by Google and may not even get ranked, just because Google have already exhausted the crawl budget crawling all these not so important pages. Okay, so this will lower your potential pages that get ranked on Google search, and the number of keywords that gets ranked may also be reduced. And of course, all this basically means a potentially reduced traffic for the website as well. So eliminating all this keyword cannibalization or all this content that are not that important, just because they are sharing the same kind of content and all that, will actually help all your other more important pages to get crawled and eventually get indexed and ranked on Google. So next, I've talked about what are the negative impact on the website when you have keyword cannibalization. So let's have a look at how do you then actually identify keyword cannibalization on your website. So first of all, you can use external third-party tools like Ahrefs to help you identify your keyword cannibalization issues on the website. So very simple, just head over to Ahrefs tool. I think they have a free version of the tool. So you can just head over to the tool, use this Site Explorer feature on the website, key in your website URL, then go to the organic keyword tab on the left panel and search, then go to the organic keywords and search for the keywords that you want to check. And once you've identified the keyword that you want to check, just click on this icon here. So this is the icon, the position history icon. Clicking on it will then show you the list of pages that are ranking for this particular keyword. So if you look at this list here and you notice that there are more than one page that are currently ranking for this keyword, you may have a potential cannibalization here. But then again, making sure that you check whether these pages, are they targeting the same intent or not? So earlier, as I mentioned, if you have one blog page, one product pages, and so on, right, then this may not be a cannibalization scenario. But if you are having multiple product pages or multiple service pages ranking for this same keyword, then you may be looking at a potential cannibalization. So this is one way of using tool like Ahrefs just to help you to identify your keyword cannibalization issue. Another way is to use the Google search parameter. So this is really a more advanced way of using Google search. So all you need to do is just head over to Google search, put in this keyword here. So I have put in the site : and then put in your website URL and put in the keyword that you want to check. So for example, you can put in site, then your website.com, then put in the keyword that you want to check. Let's say back to our example earlier, best car dealer. So this way, when you check this, you will potentially be seeing a list of pages only from your website, because we are telling Google that I only want to search this particular website for this keyword. Okay, and if you notice that you have multiple pages ranking for this keyword from your website, that is also a classic example of keyword cannibalization on your website. Again, double check, making sure that they are targeting the same intent as well. So that is using Google search parameter. And the next one is to use your Google Search Console. So Google Search Console, as you all know, is a webmaster tool where you can see all the different performance on your website. So if you have access to your Google Search Console, just log into it and do a data filter using keywords. So just do a query filter using your Google Search Console. Put in the keyword that you want to try, that you want to check. And after you put in the keyword, just click filter and you head over to the page tab. All right. So this is the page tab on your Google Search Console. And if you notice multiple pages, again, multiple pages ranking for this same keyword, that is basically telling you that you may potentially have a keyword cannibalization issue as well. And in this screenshot example that I have here, you will also notice that we have multiple pages ranking for this same keyword. And most of these pages, they are having very, very similar kind of impression as well. So that is basically Google's way of telling you that Google do not know which page to rank for this keyword. So most of them are pretty much the impression that you may be getting on a single page is currently being spread out into multiple pages. So instead of creating one very strong page, you are creating mediocre pages here. So next, I have talked about how to, what is keyword cannibalization, how do you identify it? So next thing is, how do you then fix keyword cannibalization? So very simple. Step one, you need to consolidate your content. As I mentioned earlier, you may have multiple pages trying to rank for the same keyword, and each of these pages, maybe you have the full version of the content being spread out into multiple different pages. So now what you need to do is just combine and consolidate all these different pages, all the information that has been spread out to all these different pages, combine them into a single, very, very strong and comprehensive content. All right. So that way you will be able to consolidate all the ranking signal into a single strong page instead of diluting the signal or the ranking signal into multiple mediocre pages. All right. So first step, consolidate all this content into a single strong and comprehensive version of the content. And step two is to make sure that you redirect all those old pages that you no longer need, because all this content is right now consolidated to the very strong page or the very comprehensive page. So all these older pages that you no longer need, making sure that you do a 301 redirect. All right. So this way, it helps to ensure that your internal and external backlinks are channeled back to the new page. So these backlinking are not lost. Any traffic that are going to the old pages will then be redirected to the new page. So this will also ensure better user experience, because traffic that are going to the old pages, they will not be seeing a 404 not found page, but instead they will get channeled back to your, the new page instead. All right, so eliminating keyword cannibalization can actually improve your performance. So let's look at one case study here. So we have one client that are ranking not too well on the in Australia. So they are doing camper vans and motorhome and all that. So they have a lot of content that are targeting the same keyword, which is motorhome for rent or camper van for rent, across all the different pages on the website. So when we realized that they have this problem, what we did was we did the consolidation of the content by consolidating all the scattered content into a single main page. All right, so all the information is no longer scattered around, but it's now creating one very comprehensive content, as I mentioned earlier. And then we redirect all the other pages that are no longer needed to the new page that we have just created. So we have actually done our content consolidation around this time, and we have published it here. Initially, things are dropping a little bit just because Google is taking some time to understand what is happening to this content before they decide that that main new content is now the page that they should be ranking. And once we start to see Google understand the intention of this, we start to see things already starting to move up very, very strongly. All right, so if you look at the blue line here, this is basically the content, the new content that we have consolidated. And the orange color line is basically the pages, the other pages that are no longer required. So what we are seeing here is that the strong page right now, the very comprehensive page right now, is moving up very, very strong. And the other pages are slowly dying down just because all the ranking signal that they have has already been channeled back to the new comprehensive page. So that way we do see the new comprehensive page is starting to grow up very, very strongly. So that's how you can eliminate keyword cannibalization on your website, and you may potentially see similar growth like this. However, when you are looking at fixing your keyword cannibalization, you have to ensure that you must absolutely avoid these issues. So what are these issues? First thing first, do not remove content that is targeting different user intent. So very early on, I mentioned keyword cannibalization only happens if you are targeting the same keyword and the same user intent. All right. However, if you have multiple different content targeting the same keyword but focusing on different intent, you do not want to consolidate them. All right. Because when you do the consolidation with these different intent content, it may actually backfire and you may actually see your traffic drops just because you are missing out on the other intent right now. All right. So just making sure that you do not remove content with that different intent. And if the different content is targeting different intent, just remain as it is. So it's very, very important for you to understand how do you check the different user intent and making sure that they are not cannibalizing each other. So one example here, if someone is searching for car dealer, for example, all right, they may be searching for a specific car dealer, or they may be just searching for general information about car dealer. All right. So this is two different intents that we are seeing here. So you may have a car dealer, people that are looking for a specific car dealer, you may use this keyword or to optimize it on your service page. And people that are generally looking for general information about car dealer, you may write a blog content to share this information. So these two content will not be seen as a keyword cannibalization on your website. Okay. Another thing that you must absolutely avoid is removing very important keywords. Because as I mentioned earlier also, since you have multiple pages, your keywords ranking may also be spread out into multiple pages. So different pages instead of just ranking for that main keyword, they may also be ranking for multiple other variations of the keyword. So those keywords are potentially giving you traffic, ranking pretty well as well. So when you are doing the consolidation, make sure that those important keywords, you are not removing them, but instead making sure that you include these important keywords back into your new comprehensive page. So that way, when you do the redirection from the old page to the new page, all this ranking signal will not lose, and all the ranking that you have built on the old pages will not be lost as well. Okay, and so in order for you to determine which are the important keywords that you must absolutely include in the new content, just go back to your Google Search Console, double check on all the old pages, what are the keywords that are ranking very well and driving traffic, making sure that all these keywords are included back into your new content. All right, so these are the two major things that you must absolutely avoid when you're trying to do content consolidation and trying to remove the keyword cannibalization on your website. So in summary, keyword cannibalization happens when you optimize multiple pages for the same keyword and the same intent. So the same intent here is really the more important keyword here, making sure that if you are trying to rank for the same keyword, and if they are the same intent, that is a keyword cannibalization scenario happening on your website. Okay, and when that happens, this will actually put a cap on your potential ranking. Just because of all this different internal competition, you are diluting your ranking signals, and this is going to hamper your potential to rank better on the search results. All right, so I've also shared how do you identify keyword cannibalization on your site and how do you eliminate them to boost your SEO performance. And while doing that, making sure that you do not eliminate, you are only eliminating actual cannibalization, but do not eliminate content that are targeting different user intent or eliminating keywords that are very important that you're already ranking very well on the other old pages. Okay, so that is all. Thank you so much for joining us today. And if you want to know whether your website is having this cannibalization issue, just head over to our website, growth.pro, and get a free site audit where we will audit your website and inform you if you have any keyword cannibalization happening on your website. Okay, so I have Alvin here as well. Let me add him in. So if you have any question, feel free to ask. We'll be here to answer your question. So right now we will be starting our Q&A session. Okay, so we have one question here. Can two pages focusing on this? Okay, let me show it here. So can two pages focusing on a main keyword and a long tail keyword for blogs cannibalize each other? So, okay, this is a very good question. So when we talk about main keyword and long tail keyword, main keyword is basically just the keyword itself, and long tail keyword is actually a longer version of it. So earlier I mentioned about, say, for example, best car dealer. So this can be our main keyword, and a longer version of it can be best car dealer Malaysia, best car dealer PJ, best car dealer Selangor, and all that. So that is what we call a long tail keyword that is very similar to the main keyword, but just a longer version of it. And when you have different pages targeting a main keyword like this and also a longer tail keyword in this case, right, this is actually not considered as a keyword cannibalization. Right? Most of the time, it's not considered that. However, you still have to look back at the context itself and determine if the intent is similar. So when I talk about best car dealer, they may be searching for best car dealer in Malaysia or maybe in Johor or in different part of the world or even different part of the states, right? However, if you are doing a best car dealer in Selangor, for example, so that is a much more targeted keyword. So that way you are really targeting people that are searching in Selangor, but people that are not searching in Selangor, they will potentially go to the other page targeting that main keyword, which is just best car dealer. Okay, so in this case, we may not be looking at a keyword cannibalization scenario here. All right, so any other question, feel free to ask us. Or Alvin, do you have anything to add related to the keyword cannibalization? You are muted.
No, I don't have anything to add. You have actually covered quite extensive. The ones who are actually going to watch the video or who are watching the video, feel free to ask questions. These are there are a lot of golden nuggets that April has shared. Feel free to use it for your website, and yeah, now's the chance to ask questions.
So just now I was also talking about user intent. So this is something that we may be covering in our next webinar as well. Just because I've mentioned earlier, user intent is quite important because it can also help you to identify whether you have a keyword cannibalization issue happening on your website. So some people may start to ask, like, how do you determine what is the user intent? How are the different user intent that we can see on the search result and all that? So that is something that we may be covering in our next webinar. Okay, we have another question, so let me take that. Can changing the optimization settings or reoptimizing some posts help resolve the cannibalizations? So this can potentially be one solution instead of consolidating all the content into a single strong and comprehensive content. You may also look into reoptimizing some of the other cannibalizing page. All right, maybe changing the keyword that you're optimizing to a different keyword, or maybe just change it into a different longer tail version of the keyword. So this is very similar to the earlier question, right? When we talk about a longer tail version of the keyword, you may not have keyword cannibalization happening there. So yes, definitely you can just re-optimize it for a different keyword or just a longer tail version of the keyword targeting a more a much niche market. So that is potentially a way to resolve the cannibalization issue. Yeah, thanks for asking, Vitu. So let's see if you have any other question.
Okay. April, I'm not able to see questions coming in. If there's none, how long have we? Is it like 1 hour? Almost 1 hour. I think you've shared. Sorry?
Just about 40 minutes.
Okay, 40 minutes. All right.
Yeah, we have another question here. So let me take this final question. Okay, can a good internal linking structure help Google decide which page is more important? So this is a different topic. So this is something that's really going to be a little bit more advanced, but let me just share some ideas here. So definitely, yes, just to let you know, internal linking is one way of telling Google which page is important. So say, for example, going back to the example earlier, right? We have your homepage ranking for the keyword best car dealer. You have your service page. You have your about us page. However, if your service page is getting a lot of internal link from your other pages on the website, say maybe from your other blog pages or maybe from your other service pages on the website, you are basically telling Google this page is important, right? So that's what all this internal linking is telling Google. So when Google knows that this page is a little bit more important compared to the other pages, which is not getting as much or as many internal linking from other pages on your website, Google may then decide to rank the more important pages. So that way, sometimes you may not see keyword cannibalization really, putting a dent on your traffic, just because you have a very strong internal linking pointing to the very important pages that you want to rank. All right. So I guess that's it. That's the last question that we have for today. Thank you again for those that have joined us today. And I look forward to seeing you guys again in our next webinar. Thank you and have a good evening.
Hang on, April, let's before we end, right, for those who are watching this recording, I hope that you can help us share so that more people will know how to optimize their website and prevent keyword cannibalization from happening and de-ranking their website. We are doing a series of webinar just to educate the general public about how SEO works. You can actually implement all that by yourselves, but just in case you do not have a team to do so, Growth Pro specializes in creating SEO structured content and SEO structured websites for companies. A lot of our partners, our agency partners, who do not do SEO in-house, they outsource to us. They also, at the same time, there are corporates. They work with us by outsourcing the whole SEO campaign, and we have a full team to do so. One of our unique selling propositions is we do not have a lockdown retainer period. So we work on a monthly rolling retainer. So it puts our team on rather to deliver. So in the very first month, if our clients are not happy with what we do, you can actually fire us at the end of the month, and we are completely fine with it. So in this manner, we are de-risking the clients from being locked down on a 6 month or 3 month or a year kind of contract. So we are kind of unique in our approach. So it put us on our toes to do the best jobs for you. So that's our 1 minute pitch. Okay, if you have any questions, do feel free to reach out to me or April, or just put in a lead, or rather put in your name, or just send us an email, and then we'll see how we can work with you on your next SEO campaign. All right, thank you very much. And again, do share this video to as many in your network as you can. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Alvin. Okay, one last question. I think someone just asked Danson. So any SEO course suggest? Usually we don't suggest courses just because there are actually a lot of courses out there. So you really need to know how to find, and SEO is actually a very big field. So we talk about technical SEO, we talk about on-page optimization, content structure, keyword research, and all that. So they may not be a course that can cover everything at one go. So we ourselves, I think we have multiple team handling different parts of it. So we have a team that is handling the SEO structure or the keyword research. We have team that is handling the technical SEO and all that, because each of them is actually a huge thing by itself. So one course by one potential trainer may not be able to cover everything.
Right.
So
I would like to chime in on this. So each SEO guru, so-called guru, they have their own secret recipes. Some, they are very much on a content based kind of SEO. Some are very focused on link building. Some are highly technical on page SEO. So it really depends on which guru or so-called company or course that you are subscribing to. There are also SEO for affiliate marketing, for lead generation, for e-commerce. So there's a whole spectrum of SEO. So there's no hard and fast rule that, okay, which so-called course is good for which one. So it's a consolidation of all the different skill sets and combining them, and then you get your best results.
Yeah. So I think Danson also mentioned that he took the Udemy SEO course. So I would think that the course in Udemy may be targeted towards beginners. So those will give you very overview SEO kind of introduction, but not really deep dive into the different strategies and so on. So as Alvin mentioned earlier, different trainer, they have their own secret sauce. Some of them focusing on very strong technical SEO strategies. Some of them focusing very strong in terms of content strategy and all that. So when you take the Udemy SEO course, maybe just touching the surface of each of this. But if you really want to deep dive into it, you have to look for the right guru or the right trainer on the right kind of SEO that you want to learn.
Right. I like to share an analogy. So let's say you are a karate black belter. All right. So among their handful of karate black belters, there may be a brown belter who can actually whip the black belter also in a street fight, right? So it doesn't mean that just because you have completed a certain number of courses or whatever, right? Your results will be good. Sometimes there are people who have been doing SEO for many years just because they are eating their own dog food, and in a way that they build their own media companies, they have their own websites, they are running affiliate programs and all that. They can even do a much better job because they're in it for the money. They need to be at a certain level to make money. So they can be potentially much better than some of the gurus around, or even SEO companies or agencies who tend to hype up a lot of things, right? Some of these affiliate marketers can be many times better than agencies. All right.
All right. So yeah, thanks again, Denson, for your question. And I guess that's it. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much again, and hopefully you guys will be joining our next webinar. Thank you.
All right.
And
Thank you very much. Thanks, April. That's a great presentation. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.